Let's get started. Believe so.
Okay.
So I'll give you a brief introduction about me. My name is Saeed Malim, and I'm a first-year international student here at Berea College. I'm from a country called Kenya in East Africa. Yeah, that's basically my introduction. Go ahead, it's your turn.
I'm a retired social worker, and I have also done some college teaching at a 2-year institution. And I'm married and mother of 3, grandmother of 7. And we're living our retirement years here in Berea and liking it very much.
I see you have a lot of grandchildren. So, yeah. My first question is, who are you named after?
As far as I know, I'm not named after anybody. I think it's just a name my parents liked.
Yeah, true. So the next question is, what makes you happy?
Lots of things make me happy. Jesus, my husband, my family, friends, church, our 3 cats, birds, sunny days, traveling, our home, opportunities to volunteer, like Berea Home Village, and much, much more. I've truly been blessed in my life.
Maybe, that's wonderful. You have a lot of things that makes you happy. I'm actually happy to know about it. Tell me about one of your funniest memory.
Well, this was a really funny memory, and it didn't take long to think about it.
Okay.
Several years ago, I had a birthday coming up, and I decided I wanted to do something a little bit different, something I had never done before. So one of my 2 sons asked me, "Mom, have you decided what you're going to do for your birthday?" And I said, "Yes. My husband and I are going to go to a demolition derby. We had never been to one before." And didn't know exactly what to expect, but thought it would be a fun adventure.
Yeah.
So we went, and we took some lawn chairs to set it up. This was a sunny day in August. And we set up our lawn chairs, and we were sitting there watching things as they were happening. And in a few minutes, a group of young people came in to the area, and they put down a blanket, and they all sat down on the blanket, and it was obvious that they were good friends and they were having a wonderful time. And they spoke to us, and they were very friendly. They were not exactly my style. They were kind of dressed kind of funky, and I don't know, their hair was kind of weird, and it was just different, but they were friendly. And, you know, I like all kinds of people. So I thought, well, this is fine. So they sat down, and they were watching the demolition derby too. And after a while, they had spoken to us, but after a while, one of them got up and he said, "Here's a camera. Would you mind taking our group picture?" And I said, "Oh, I'll be happy to do that." So I did. And he sat back down. And in a few minutes, you know, we were just, I don't know, it was just, we were having a good time. But in a few minutes, one of the young men got up, and he came over very close to me and starts to put his arms around me. And of course, I'm freaking out, and I'm thinking, oh no, you know, is he here to take my purse, or what is he doing?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he said in my ear, "Hi, Mom." And it was actually my son and his wife and our nephew and several other family members who had put on wigs and other things.
Oh my gosh.
And they had just done it for a prank.
A prank?
And so that's one of my funniest memories, but
yeah.
that was really fun.
That was really fun. That was really fun. Uh, okay. The next question, what is the lesson in life that you wish to share with young people?
I would say don't give up. It's easy to do that when you get discouraged. I remember when I was an older teenager getting ready to go to college, but I didn't have a summer job. And I checked at 47 different places in my town to try to find a job, and I got no job that summer. And it was very discouraging. But the next summer, I was able to get a job at the Morton Salt Company in their processing plant, and that was good money. And then the next 3 summers, I worked at a bank. So I was able to finally get some summer jobs, but I was very discouraging. But just don't give up and just keep on trying.
Especially now when things are really hard. How did COVID-19 affected you?
Well, my husband and I decided to follow the governor's recommendations. And so we basically stayed home and isolated as much as possible. We had our groceries delivered to our trunk of our car, and we stopped going to any gatherings at all. We did manage to be online with our family, with our children and grandchildren and brothers and sisters, and other family members too. So it was, it was sad and lonely in some ways, but in some ways it was fine. We were able to get outside and do a little gardening and take care of some flowers. And we did have one family get together, but we were very socially distanced, and everybody kept the protocols in place. And so, I think we did fine. And then just recently, since most of us now have been vaccinated, we've been able to get together in a in-person get together. We got together with 2 of our children and their families. One of them was not able to come, but that will happen, I think, within the next few months. Yeah. So it's been good. I don't think it's really been that hard on us. I know it's been hard on a lot of people, but they didn't have the privilege of being retired.
Yeah, true.
So,
in terms of the social interaction, much of it has been limited, but hopefully because of the vaccination and maybe the cases are actually going down, hopefully in the next few months, we hope. Yeah,
I think so. Yeah.
If you could go back to any age, what will it be, and why?
I'm not sure that I would really want to go back to any age, even though I've had a very blessed life and some of those times were really good. But if I did go back, there are probably 2 different times I would choose. One would be when I was just very young, about 8 or 9 years old, for several years after that, up until I was a teenager. We lived in a very remote area of Ohio, and it was very poverty stricken, but we made a lot of friends there. And my parents actually helped to open a church, so we met a lot of people. And I think because of the poverty that I saw, that's probably what were the roots of my desire to go into social work. And but those were years of adventure. My dad was one that just really, he loved people. My mom did too. And we were always doing something exciting or interesting, especially during those years. And so that would be one time I would maybe go back. Another time would be when my husband and I started our family. And we had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. And they were fun kids, and good kids. I mean, not that they didn't get into some mischief, which of course we all do when we're young, but basically they were really good kids, and we were really blessed with them. And now, of course, with their spouses and the grandchildren, that's just added to that. They've all been good. But I think those years when they were young, our children were young, those were really fun years. Not easy years necessarily, but fun years, I think.
Yeah, true.
And and then I guess I should add too that when our 3 children were all teenagers, 13, 16, and 19, we took them on a trip to India, Nepal, and Bangladesh. And the reason for the trip, we were gone 6 weeks, but the reason for the trip was that my dad was born and raised in India, and was still speaking Hindi at age 100 when he died. But I really wanted to see where my dad was born and raised and meet some of the people that he had grown up with. And that was a really good trip. And it was good for our children too, to see another part of the world.
Yeah, that's really true. But back at home, we usually talk about generation. We say if you really don't know where you are coming from, then it will be hard for you to know where you are going. So yeah, I kind of relate it.
Right.
Tell me about your first job.
Do you mean my first job as a teenager that was more or less summer jobs, or do you mean my first professional job? Or...
Yeah, professional job.
My first professional job was in Ohio as a social worker with the county welfare department. And that was a very interesting job. We did all kinds of cases. We had the families with dependent children, and we had the aid to the disabled, aid to the blind, and aid to the elderly. And I had 120 some cases on my caseload. And so it's too many, way too many, because we were supposed to visit these people and ask them lots of questions and try to connect them with resources that would help them with the difficulties that they were having. But it was a very interesting job, and I stayed with it for about 1.5 years. And then I wanted to go to work in Kentucky. And so I applied for a job in Eastern Kentucky, and it was a job I really wanted, but I didn't get the job. And I was very disappointed. But then another job possibility came up with working as a social worker for the church. And I thought, well, that would be interesting. So I applied for that, and I got the job. But in the process of that application, I met a young man who was teaching in a 2-room schoolhouse in Eastern Kentucky. And he was teaching grades 1, 2, 7, and 8. And the other teacher had the other 4 grades. And so anyway, I met him. And 6 months later, he asked me to marry him. And so here we are 52 plus years later, still married with our family and still very happy together.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Sometimes it is just destiny which brings people together.
I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
I'm just saying the destiny. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think for the personal questions we are done. I want to go to the Berea Home Village specific questions. And
Okay.
My first question is, why did you join Berea Home Village as a volunteer?
Well, I have done volunteer work throughout my life, and I've always, from the time I was a child, been interested in older people. And of course, now I am one of those older people, but I'm still interested in older people. And so I think volunteering is just a good thing for anybody to do if they can. And so I was kind of looking around for opportunities, and I read in the newspaper about Berea Home Village. Now, actually, a neighbor had told me about Berea Home Village, but I didn't really know a lot about it. And I decided to sign up to volunteer. And I'm really glad I did. It's been a good thing for me, and hopefully it's been good for the people that I've volunteered for as well. And I enjoy the people. Well, Katie is wonderful. She's a really a perfect match for directing this particular program. And the people that I serve on a committee with are also really good people that I've gotten to know a little bit better because of the committee. But I think all of these people that are volunteers for Berea Home Village, just they have a heart for people, and they just want to give back some of what we've been blessed with all of our lives. And so it's a way to make friends and meet new people and feel like you're doing something worthwhile.
What is one thing that you love about Berea Home Village Seniors?
About being a senior.
Yeah, the seniors. You said you are a volunteer, right?
Right.
So that means you work with the seniors. Maybe some of the things you love about them.
Well, I think a lot of people have, especially that have lived a long time, have interesting stories to tell about their own lives, and we can get some inspiration from some of them just by hearing their stories. And I've talked with some of the most positive people I think I've ever met. And so that's, that's very uplifting. And I just enjoy being around people and doing whatever I can.
Yeah. And since now, I'm sure most of the activities of Berea Home Village have stopped due to the COVID-19. What message do you have for the seniors? A message?
Well, again, I think it's important to stay connected with people. And this is one thing the members can do because they will have volunteers that they can be connected with. But I think those people contacts are really important. And of course, it's important to get the services as well so that they can remain in their own homes as long as possible. Because I think most of us want to stay home as long as we possibly can. I think the nursing homes give good services, but there's nothing like being in your own home and your own neighborhood and being able to be more independent with your friends and the things that you want to do as long as you possibly can. So helping people to be able to do that is just very rewarding.
That's great. And maybe if you could tell me as a volunteer, what are some of the benefits of joining Berea Home College?
Well, I guess there's a lot of feel-good benefits. Just, I'm not sure beyond that. I guess just the idea that you're able to do something that's important. And it's not just wasting time, but it's something that's going toward a goal. And that is to be able to help people stay home as long as they can. And to provide those people connections that I think are so important.
Awesome. What do you love most about Berea Home Village? Something.
I don't know, beyond what I've already said. I like the idea of being connected with them and the people that, not just the members, but also the other volunteers. I think it's been a fun thing to do. And there's always an adventure. You never know what's going to be next as far as what you're asked to do, or And it,
Yeah, I think they are actually related about what you love and some of the benefits. And I get the next question is what message do you have for the donors who want to donate to Berea Home Village?
um, it's a good place to put your resources, I think, whether it is time or whether it's money. But we do need money because the volunteers are not paid to do their services. We do get some remuneration for driving, which came through the city of Berea in a grant, I believe. So that has helped with the expense of driving people places. But I think it's just, it's a good place to put your resources. If you have extra funds, I know a lot of our funds had already been designated to places that we had already been invested in as far as helping other people. So we donate to Berea Home Village, but it's in a fairly small amount because we had already tied up our funds with other places. But I do think for people who are looking for a place to share their money as well as their time, perhaps as volunteers. It's a really, really good service, I think, for our community. And I think it helps to keep our community together. So,
Yeah, that's really true. Will you recommend Berea Home Village to seniors within Berea?
absolutely. And in fact, I have. Um, because when you're talking about how you spend your time, sometimes that comes up in conversation. And so then I just share, well, this is some of the things that I've been able to plug into. And I think it's a good thing for other people that are interested in doing that. So yes, I think it's just a really good program. And I'm glad we have it in Berea. The other thing is, I think as my husband and I get older and older, we also realize that at some point we may want to be members. We don't know, but we may want to be a member rather than a volunteer, or in addition to being a volunteer, which of course that's also possible. So,
Just to wrap up our interview, do you have any special message for your fellow volunteers and seniors?
no, I think just I think it's a good program, and I hope more people will join in as members or volunteers, either one or both. Um, I'm just glad that we have it in our community.
Yeah, that's really nice. It was so nice doing the interview with you, and we actually came to the end of the interview, and I want to appreciate your time, uh, your attention, and everything you did to make this interview successful. And I want to appreciate your effort as a volunteer, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, and I wish you well also in whatever you're studying. What is your plan for a major?
I'm planning to major in computer science and economics, hopefully.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that my husband ended up teaching
Wow.
eventually.
Yeah.
He started off, teaching in a two-room schoolhouse, but he ended up teaching in a high school and college and graduate school. So anyway, but computer science was one of the things that he taught a lot of. So, but that's a very good thing to be going into.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
We
Wow.
wish you well.
Thank you so much. I actually, when you told me about your grandchildren, I remembered my mom. She has like, is it 17 grandchildren? Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, I actually have like 42 siblings from my family. So
How
we are
many?
kind
How many
of
siblings?
42.
42?
Yeah, 42.
Wow.
We are kind of big, a big family.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. It was really nice meeting you, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you. Thank you. You did a
Bye
good job.
bye.
Bye.